start to gather back into their chairs. Let me just tell you first of all, that the first place I ever met Joy was in this room. It was when we first moved our reading over here from all the years at Deus Ex Machina and the failed attempts at Lola's or whatever that coffee shop was and all that kind of stuff. We settled here. And the first time, met Joy. And we did some weird, bizarre shows ever since then at, like, you know, outside on Grand Avenue and all kinds of weird things. And it was great. Joy was always down to do anything different, you know. And then Joy ended up going on and, you know, represent on a lot of national slam teams, made semifinal stage appearances. But Joy would always come back and try to share everything she learned. She would have workshops for youth groups and all kinds of great stuff like that. And we were always lucky to have Joy participating in the scene. And so we found out this is actually the final feature in Phoenix. Very proud to have it here.
Yeah.
So please welcome the patron poet laureate saint of obligatory awkward hugs.
Thank you very much for inviting me to do a feature. This is like one of the I think it was the second place I ever featured was Caffeine Corridor. Like the very first time I was going to WOWPS, which is also how I know Louis Robertson, which is awesome. It's a full circle weird intersecting thing. But yeah, so the joke like in the slam scene that I made about myself is that like I have a barrel of gay poems. And so the last couple of years, I've been doing a lot of work that is focused on social justice, and I've done a lot of work specifically with like the LGBTQ community and mostly gearing towards youth. So it's become more and more a giant barrel of gay poems. So I'm going to mostly do really gay poems for you. And so here, the pressure is on you, because if you don't laugh at the right place, the whole room's going to think you're a bigot.
We're the judges.
So here is some unsolicited advice from a genderqueer, trans, asterisk, non-binary identified person who cringes every time they have to fill out gender on a survey, in part because they want to correct people's conflation of sex and gender, but also because that shit is just annoying as fuck. Or, notes to myself. 1, a lot of lesbians are going to think you're just one of them. 2, when a child asks if you're a boy or a girl, always laugh. Tell them you're both. Ask them to guess. It's a fun game that makes parents really uncomfortable. 3, regarding point 1, a lot of those lesbians are in your dating pool. Consider wearing your lesbian identity like a thrift store suit. It will never fit you quite right. It wasn't tailored to suit your body, but you can still look fucking good in it. And a tie that brings out your eyes. Choose between the half and full winter knot. Remember that this doesn't have to be your noose. You don't have to hang here forever. There's other language suspended in your closet. Caffeine Corridor was back before my desk job started making me come in on Fridays and I could still come to it. I could like do new poems and read them on page and not have to have them memorized. With slam, I feel like I have to have it memorized, and sometimes that's really awful. So this is something relatively new. Yeah, I'm just going to read it and stop qualifying, sorry. My stepdad invites himself to my dinner party, which is gay, because I am gay. My stepdad invites himself to dinner at my home. Naturally, his chair at my table is built out of my gayness. He doesn't quite know how to sit with it. Comments on how it looks too modern for this living space. I sit trying to make my body totally eclipse the queerness chair I constantly sit with. His gay chair is for company like him. He doesn't want to be here. He invited himself. His intention to sit in this chair is progress. My stepdad used to work for a company that builds office furniture. I'm still not sure, even after him taking me to take your daughter to work day twice, what exactly his job is. But he's the kind of man who worries a lot about quality control and acceptable margins of error, and who took me to take your daughter to work day twice and bought me shoes when child support checks never came, which is to say, he's the kind of man who always wanted to see me go places. And he wants to be here. He slips his legs through the space between the seat and the backrest. I don't correct him. He says he's comfortable enough for us to eat together, but he squirms while we talk. I am acutely aware that I've stacked my transness chair and my feminist chair on top of one another. They are currently propping the closet door shut from the inside. Afraid he too has secrets he might want to stash in there, like my mom's gambling problem or how much he hates gay marriage. And if we open the door, a mess will come tumbling out and words will escape my mouth in a mess as I decide now is the appropriate time to talk to him about how it has always hurt when he tried to save my soul from being dragged to hell by this gayness monster currently disguised as a chair he is sitting incorrectly in. But that it's strangely equally upsetting that he stopped trying to save me because he said nothing to make me believe his beliefs have changed. So I am spending huge chunks of our time together wondering what the hell happened to make him give up on me. And I'm watching how much he wants to be here with me as he allows his normal back pain to be exasperated by sitting like this. But he leaves before coffee and dessert. Says he's already too awake. He's diabetic. This meal was enough. We both know that the sweetest things I've made with my hands would make him sick. I'm going to do the super poety thing where you read from your own book. So these are just a couple of shorts. Both of these I wrote in response to a prompt that I think everyone should try. And it's like to think about the thing in a poem you've already written that you glossed over or like really left out. And you know, it can leave you in the fetal position in your bed for a while. But it's a really useful prompt and kind of makes you rethink what you feel comfortable talking about. People ask me about the woman from the poem. I never tell them about Papago Park, how I pass it on my way to work, how I stopped working on exercising it from my mind. I never tell them about the jogger, about the sunrise illuminating body, about the hiked up skirt or the way the dusty phoenix gravel digs into skin. I never mentioned the underwear in my back pocket, how I almost forgot it was there, how I caught myself walking away with pieces of you. And this is another piece like that, titled Baby Boy. You unwrap the boy from my body. Fingers slipping between pants, pressed hard into hips, unbuttoning my boy shirt, I slipped out of my wardrobe, revealing curves that run concurrent to what it means to be a woman. Clothes moved hastily until you paused to tell me. You're like a transformer. You had this slight, nervous smile when you said it. I stood there, mostly undone. It was the best compliment anyone had ever given me, and I told you that. But I wondered if others would have called me a Decepticon. And I wondered, Why, with all my clothes off, I was always playing woman at your fingertips? Why was this what you pulled out of me? How was I so wrapped up in your identity? Lesbian, made lady queer for even liking me with the lights on. You can only fuck a woman. I transformed into such boxed in binary dress code who called me ladyboy. A conjunction closest to true reflection I'd been in a lover's eyes, still funhouse mirroring myself, failing to fill out anything but my sports bra, a size too tight. I liked it when you held me down. The way constriction has become comfortable, how we call it love, like bodies pressed tight together. When you let me go, I wondered if my boy had gotten ahead of its lady self. If my boy was too big for a lesbian to hold onto anymore, if you wanted him kept securely in the one-night stand, in the chest at the foot of my bed, we could dress up in him, role-play lovers, and tuck him away in my chest, not yours. So one of the coolest things I've gotten to do in Phoenix, but actually happened in Mesa, was the Soul Justice Project, and it was this really neat project. I think they're going to probably keep doing it too, which is really great. And so they highlight issues of social justice, and I got to go and write a piece that was a response to everything that was happening around gay marriage. So that is this. Hashtag equality for all sprawls across my Facebook feed. Maps with my red state bleeding into rainbow pop-up progressive on my screen. Gays can get married now. In Arizona and the rest of the United States. Hashtag equality for all, hashtag marriage equality, hashtag LGBT, hashtag the truth is I still see my student from the Queer Youth Center sleeping on the street. And I wonder if he takes solace in the ticker tape paper left over from pride parades. Does it soften the sidewalk? Does it pay the bills when we still lack workplace protections in so many states, and the state of things in California is recently there was a lawyer sponsoring a bill trying to make it legal to murder us to protect society. Every article was hashtag don't worry it won't pass, hashtag this shit is crazy, hashtag unreal. Meanwhile, the murder of trans women of color proceeds like a funeral procession with no pallbearers. I post a link to the only article I can find willing to carry their names, hashtag it equality for all, question mark. And the parade marches rainbow-clad army to argue it is gay blasphemy to say anything negative about gay marriage. We fight so hard, I know, but rainbows, even the most beautiful, gayest of rainbows, can be just another way we warp reality into something fractured. It's beautiful, but the brightness is diminished. And it's hard to see my student in the prismatic flash glare. He can't find a home. A lot of my queer friends can't keep their jobs. A lot of my now gay married friends could be legally fired after posting their gay marriage photos. Bathrooms are still battlegrounds. I want my student to be safe. I want to be safe. On the way out, he always tells me to take care. I never know what to say. His words just hang like skeletons in my closet. I want to come out and tell him we are moving towards hashtag equality for all, but I'm worried I would be living another lie. I just mentally map my route home. I tell him I'll see him next time and wonder if I will. So I wrote a poem for International Women's Day, which was like a couple days ago, so I haven't even done this poem out loud. So I don't know if it's bad yet, but this is it. I hate men who wear dresses, women and therefore not in the category of men who wear dresses anyway, or for those who identify outside the binary sex and or gender and might sometimes both identify as men and wear dresses, or men who wear dresses and refuse to subscribe to the notion that dresses should be gendered and wear them anyway because who doesn't like a summer breeze against their genitals? Maybe. But I hate men who slip into a dress like a punchline. Like, look at me, how not this thing I am, that even in this lady costume I am so clearly man. Like, look at all this body hair. Like it is some kind of physical comedy, the way I move in this. Like, look at all my broad shoulders bursting at the seams. Like, I will not be contained. Like, they do not realize how close in that moment they are to being woman. That's it. That's my
Yeah.
Finished. She was okay? Okay.
It's the last feature in Phoenix.
Yeah, but respect for the space and other people that I'm excited to also watch. So I'm going to do a cleansing, not super gay poem. In case you secretly hate gay people and you need something different. Better for your life. I'm just uncomfortable, so I'm trying to clearly make you all very uncomfortable. Okay.
Make us all gay.
It's a lot of work. Okay. So this is an older piece because I wanted to do some performance pieces that I haven't been writing very many. Is anyone else really, really anxious all the time? Yeah! I have a poem about that. Every time I think about the idea of teleporting, I freak out. It sounds so fucking awesome. But my feet shake these telegraph Morse code messages trying to tap my spinal cord into submission. I think about how if teleporting existed as a viable option, it would use molecules already existing in the new location to reconstitute you there. Whether we know if you was you, or if you experienced a horrific death being ripped apart molecule by molecules, a machine rapid fire you across space, a technological bullet train, it blows my mind that this might be possible now. You're here and you're gone and no one can tell the difference. Even you would know, but if you were me, you'd wonder about it for the rest of my life. I have a lot of anxiety. This is why I need to be strapped in suspenders into myself sometimes. I need something holding in my runaway train of thoughts. I can feel my spine trembling train track under the weight of them. Why are you so close to me? Please don't touch me. You're going to try to hug me. Do you not know the way strangers touch my skin crawl, my body tense, my breath catch, trying to prevent my brain's itch to escape embodied existence. Don't touch me. Can't I please just disappear? Do you hate me? Even like me a little? Why do I ever choose to speak? Can you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Worrying my sanity will absolutely leave me derailed one day. Rediscovering the ways I've jumped off the track before. Finding myself fragmented, I get under my own skin, it anxious itches all over, so I think about ripping myself apart, disintegrating from the inside out, unraveling double helix around the thought of once again collapsing black hole into myself like that when the thoughts have become a dense matter pulling at the core of me, the gravity becoming too much. I stand wondering if this trembling is my heartbeat. Am I rocking to the pace of my pulse? If I could just turn my brain off and back on again, would it reset to working order? Has my brain ever operated in working order? What does working order feel like? If my thoughts move fast enough, can I break beyond the escape while tethering into my body? Deep breath. Try to feel each air molecule. Don't think about air pollution. Move through the branches of your lungs. Avoid wondering if you are an uprooted tree. Pull them down into your stomach. Don't imagine air escaping through the ulcers you imagine you might have, one by one. Don't count them obsessively, feeling your body expand. Don't think about how you feel you might burst. Try to stay there. Press hard into the reality of your body. Be present. Don't disappear. If you do, you'll reset like a teleportation victim and spend the rest of your mind life wondering who you are now. So we come to the part of my set where I ask why did I think it would be a good idea to do that. I really have enjoyed watching Shawnte Orion. the entire time that I've been in Phoenix. Like Kentucky
I think
Fried
you
Chicken.
meant
Well, no, Kentucky Fried Chicken is like one of my favorite poems I've ever read of Phoenix. So I wrote this micro poem, styling my voice and shouting it around. I've been practicing it alone, and I think this is probably a bad idea, but as a tribute to you, this very micro poem, which really just means I only wrote a couple lines and I'm not very, and your style is harder than that would be. I wrote this. Oh, sorry. The birds at twilight. Of the movie Twilight. Their V formation dawns no in-flight movies. So the last thing I'm going to do is, I think that whenever I have a stage, I should talk about the thing I think is most important. And right now, like the rate of murder of trans women of color and also the trans community. I mean, we had a death in Mesa recently where an autistic trans man was shot by police. We had Candace Capri recently as well. So I wrote this piece about Candace Capri after going to the candlelight vigil there. Which was a really powerful experience. I think when somebody in a community like that dies, it's not just about the loss of that one person, it's about a lot of the anger about like why these bodies are so vulnerable. And there's a lot of concern and rage around people's own safety, including economic security and emotional security, but also physical. So that's like as much politics as I'm going to give you, except for what's in the poem. So this is called, by what name do we call this grief, or for Candace Capri. This sea of people is too small to hold our grief. We stand awash in it, watching our candles flicker. The flame, a wave of fire we hope will turn the tide, we'll call it home. We'll call it both peace and riot, and also sadness and anger and hope and eternal. We are an unwavering mosh pit, all sweat in the setting Phoenix sun, shouting Candace into the night as wicks burn to dust, hoping justice will rise from them. I think of the sandstorms, all that dust that sometimes comes in looking like an apocalypse. I imagine Candace riding horseback, sweeping across the cityscape. Or perhaps, as a rising flash of Phoenix in our stomachs, our eyes glowing candles. The only thing visible in all this debris, the megaphone screeches, say her name. We shout, Candace, Candace, Candace. Her name, an echoing plea, a prayer. A riot on our tongues. We will not swallow her story. It will not go down easy. We will feel it burn in our throats until everything is